Hey, Hillside. So I'm about to drop possibly the most emotion-provoking three little words known to man. Brace yourselves. Pineapple on pizza. Now I know you've got opinions. Leave them in the comments. But stick with me because I promise there's a spiritual truth at the end of this. So last week I was talking to someone who will remain nameless because they would be furious if their name was ever attached to this. And if anyone knew, they said this. So we were talking, and somehow pineapple on pizza comes up. And we've both long been arguers that pineapple does not belong on pizza. However, in this conversation, we both kind of say to each other, I've never said this to anyone before, but I kind of come around. Like, if it's done right, pineapple on pizza is not bad and maybe even good. But if you tell anyone I said that, I will deny it and I will still argue that it doesn't belong. And they then said, just because it's good doesn't mean it belongs. Just because it's good doesn't mean it's right. And we both went, there's a servant in that. And, my flesh, my body wants a lot of things that it thinks are good but aren't right. And I thought right off the bat of several verses, and Colossians 3, Paul tells us to put to death what is earthly in you, sexual immorality, impurity, passion, evil desire, covetousness. And now he says you must put away with anger, wrath, malice, slander, obscene talk from your mouth. And those all sound really bad when you read them off in a list like that. But in the moment, a lot of those things seem okay or good, right? Or enjoyable to your flesh. Or in Galatians 5, in the kind of the fruit of the Spirit passage, he writes, "But I say, walk by the Spirit, and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh." And he says that the works of the flesh are like sexual immorality, impurity, sensuality, idolatry, sorcery, enmity, strife, jealousy, fits of anger, rivalries, dissensions, divisions. It keeps going. So basically, when we do the things that we think are good, that our flesh thinks are good or wants, right? Those are actually the things that come out of it. Versus if we walk in the spirit and don't gratify those desires of the flesh, what the flesh wants and thinks is good. Instead, when we walk in the spirit, we'll see the fruit of the spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. And I also thought of that just the idea of like the flesh versus the spirit. And that is repeated a lot throughout Paul's letters. And in Romans 8, which I've been memorizing this month with my best friend, it just like repeats basically the opening passage of it is Paul just repeating different ways of saying the flesh is death and the spirit is life. And if you're in the flesh, you can't please God. But if you're in the spirit, you'll have life and peace and truth. So walk in the spirit. So just because it's good doesn't mean it's right, kind of like pineapple on pizza. And so I just want to encourage you today to walk in the flesh. Sorry, wow. Do not walk in the flesh, even though you think it's good, and walk in the spirit. All right. Have a good one, guys.